Hello, today I will be going over how to fill out your lesson plan. I inserted an image of the ASCA National Model 4th edition book because this is the book that I used as a reference as I was completing my lesson plan. So it will be very good for you to have it handy as you're completing a lesson plan. So to begin your lesson plan, you will title your lesson plan here. Your title of your lesson plan could be anything you want it to be titled as. For me, it was the importance of attendance. Right here, you will indicate your name where it says school counselor. Your target audience is just the student population that your classroom lesson is being created for. For mindsets and behavior, it states that there's a limit of three. I did one mindset and one behavior. It is recommended that you do one of each at least. And the mindsets and behavior can be found on page 3. For the lessons, I have lesson 1 of 3. I did create 3 lessons that were focusing on attendance. So this is my sample of lesson 1. And then for learning objectives, you will have 2 learning objectives. You will indicate what you hope your students will learn from this classroom lesson. And as you're creating the objectives, make sure that you're using Bloom's taxonomy. You could always just Google Bloom's taxonomy and just look at the verbs and always use the higher levels. And then for materials, right here, you just indicate anything that you will need the day that you're conducting your classroom lesson. And then for evidence base, you're just indicating what type of evidence was used to create your lesson. It will probably change throughout time as you're creating different types of lessons. And then for introduction, this is just you introducing the how you plan to introduce the lesson to your students. So you go into details, you explain what you will be doing, and it goes into including your lesson objectives as well as you're doing the introduction. Then for teach content, be very descriptive, indicate what you're going to teach, like whether you're going to provide a PowerPoint that's going to have certain questions, anything that you're going to do for that classroom lesson, make sure you include it there. I didn't fill out teach content here because it wasn't required for me to fill it out for this specific assignment, but usually you're always going to have to do it. And for future reference, when we are in the field, we will always have to fill out a full lesson plan. And then for practice content, this section is just for you to check for understanding. So just indicate how you would do that. I usually always say I'm going to ask questions as I'm presenting. I'm going to do like a check-in where I'll ask a question of something that was already discussed to see if our students are understanding what I'm presenting. And then for summarize, this is where you will focus on how you plan to summarize everything the students did within this classroom lesson. And then how you plan to close is I just put I will provide a warning at the end of the activity. This is just how I plan to close. And then I will say like my last goodbyes. And if we're going to have a lesson the following week, I will remind them. But if we're not going to have a lesson, I would just wish them a good rest of their week. It's up to you how you decide to close. And then for participation data, I indicated 26 students. This is just me thinking more of classroom sizes. Plan length of lessons, I indicated 30 to 40 minutes. I'm just thinking how long classes really are. So that's what I based my time frame around. It will look different for everyone. You have to create a pre-test and a post-test. Always make sure you provide the pre-test prior to um, starting your classroom lesson, and then provide the post test after you complete your lesson. And always make sure you attach it to your lesson plan when you're submitting it. And then for right here for outcome data, I only put information for attendance because that was my focus. So this is where you'll just put what will the outcome be from the lesson that you're conducting the day that you're planning to have this lesson. And my reference was the Ask a National Model book. And thank you very much.